All right, guys, so Project Veritas has done it once again. I'm going to tell you, I don't know how they keep getting bombshell after bombshell revelation here, but this one right here is certainly a bombshell in my opinion. Or put it this way, it's a bombshell to anybody that's been living under a rock, because I've been telling you guys that the mainstream liberal media has been playing up January 6th as something that it wasn't, okay? And apparently a New York Times reporter is admitting just that the mainstream liberal media overreacted to January 6th, and they're playing it up as something that it wasn't, mainly for clicks and likes, and because they're also pawns of the Democrat Party, which is also playing up January 6th with this January 6th commission stuff. But again, it's part of the reason why I just ignore it, because I'm just like, okay, we all know what it was, right? It was a protest that got out of control, right? That's what it was, okay? And that's not to say it wasn't bad. That's not to say it shouldn't be condemned. It's just one of those things, like, don't talk to me about these types of events when you're the same group of people that ignored cities literally getting burned, stores getting looted, neighborhoods getting destroyed, people losing their lives 6 months straight during 2020, right? During the summer of love, okay? So again, the mainstream media, in my opinion, never had any credibility in regards to their coverage of January 6th. And I think that this bombshell revelation here from Project Veritas just kind of confirms that, as they basically got New York Times national security correspondent Matthew Rosenberg on camera basically contradicting his own January 6th reporting, and him basically confirming that there were a ton of FBI informants among the people who attacked the Capitol, okay? And he was also apparently there as well too. So let's actually listen to a little bit of this to get a gist of kind of what's going on here.
January 6th stuff that is like so over at this point. It's so over. The left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top. It was like me and two other colleagues who were there, who were outside. And we were just having fun. Dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Matthew Rosenberg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning national security correspondent for the New York Times. In multiple meetings with one of our undercover journalists, Rosenberg reveals a lot about the inner workings and inner turmoil at the Times. For starters, he doesn't hesitate to undermine his own paper's coverage of the events that took place in our nation's capital on January 6, 2021, and chides corporate media's reaction, or in his own words, overreaction.
Like, I think you could tell how much fun we had on January 6th.
Oh, that's great. Are you allowed to have that much fun on January 6th? Aren't you supposed to be mourning?
I know. So if you're traumatized. But like, I mean, all these colleagues who are in the building, a little younger, who's like, oh my God, this is so scary. I'm like, oh, God.
Is that really the vibe there?
From them. I'm like, come on. I'm like, it's not the kind of place I can sit, tell somebody to man up, but I kind of want to. You're like, dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Wow. This dude said the New York Times is not a place where you can tell people to man up. Bro, it just tells you how woke some of these companies are, okay? How soft some of these companies are. The people that are hiring at that company, he's like, you can't really tell people to man up there when they're out here complaining about being traumatized over January 6th. Like, come on. Like, I mean, all I'm saying is this. Always knew that the mainstream liberal media, the left, was playing January 6th up to be more than what it actually really was. Okay, they're trying to play it up as a coordinated attack on the Capitol, and that's just not what it was. Nobody knew that was going to happen that day. Okay, it literally was a protest that got out of control. And all these people that are talking about how, you know, they were traumatized, they feel like their lives in danger, they feel like this is a threat to democracy. Again, they're just either soft, okay, or they're trying to spin a narrative. Mainly the people that you see on TV, like Joy Reid, and those on MSNBC and CNN that literally talk about January 6th every single day. That is what they're trying to do, okay? They're trying to fearmonger off something that really, most people don't need to be concerned about. And I would argue, again, that if people need to be concerned, they really need to be concerned about these random protests, you know, like Antifa, okay, what's going on in Portland, Oregon. Those groups that are popping up, protesting in people's neighborhoods, okay? And BLM protesting in people's neighborhoods when a white cop shoots an unarmed black person. That's what you actually really should be worried about if you're talking about your life potentially being in danger, okay? Not what happened on January 6th. Again, that's not to say it wasn't bad. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, if we're talking about what to be traumatized about and what not to be traumatized about, the summer of love was definitely more traumatic in my opinion.
And Zolan, and then Adam Goldman, woman Sabrina Tavernese, a bunch of photographers. Then there were people inside the Capitol.
Yeah, who was inside?
Little dweebs who keep going on about their trauma. I'm like, guys, shut the end up. I guess it was scarier.
Did they write about it? Oh God, please tell me who so I can read.
I don't know if they wrote about their trauma. This chick named Emily Cochran and this guy named Nick Fandos. They're both like in their 20s.
Nick Fandos?
Fandos.
Fandos.
They covered, Nick doesn't anymore, they covered comments. So they're congressional reporters. The story I got sucked into doing is like, I do investigative stuff.
So we're going to fast forward to a part of the video where this guy talks about the left's overreaction to January 6th and how that is basically played in this back and forth between the right and the left in regards to how people see January 6th, which I think is 100% true, what this guy's saying. But right now, what a part of the video is picking off on is that this guy is, basically talking about doing a part 2, okay, with the whole January 6th thing, okay, and, they're trying to talk more about how it was so bad and blah, 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 as this guy knows himself that, hey, you know what, we don't really believe all this, but we're going to write about it anyways. So let's go ahead and play this.
Like, can we do like part 2 of that, like what's going on in the year since January 6th, and kind of like memory holing it, like making it it's no big deal? Yeah, we can do that. It's a little quick turnaround. So we've been doing the last few days. That's the story. But it's in a meeting. I'm like, one of the issues here is that, like the Fox News of the world, elsewhere, is that the left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top that it gave the opening, the right even, to start introducing the idea of, well, these people are out of control. Like, it's not a big deal as they're making it. Because they were making it too big a deal. They were making it some organized thing that it wasn't. And that gave the opening for the lunatics on the right to be like, oh, well, nothing happened here. It was just a peaceful bunch of tourists, And it's like, but nobody wants to hear that.
Not as big.
Yeah, so I definitely think that what that guy is saying at that point in the video is certainly true. The left overplaying January 6th basically did give a whole lot of people who basically didn't want to believe that January 6th actually happened reason to say, hey, well, it was completely 100% peaceful, right? And that's also not true either, okay? It's like I say, man, the world is not black and white because we live in a Democrat-Republican society, a conservative-liberal society. Everybody wants to see the world as black and white when the world is actually really gray, okay? I mean, these things can be true at the same time. January 6th was not as big of a deal as the left made it out to be, and also January 6th wasn't 100% completely peaceful protest, okay? I think those things can be true at the same time, okay? That's why every time I talk about January 6th, I'm very clear about how I feel about it, because there are people that are just playing it up like, oh, it wasn't anything at all. It was 100% peaceful. Like that's not that's not true either. Okay, and him saying that, it does kind of bring to the reality that a lot of these people that work at these liberal media outlets, they are actually sane people, but they're playing a character, right? They're actors. They're out here pushing a narrative that they know is not true because they want clicks, right? They want advertisement dollars. Okay, it's not like they actually really believe the stuff. They're just doing it to try to play off their base. Okay, and this is a prime example. This is a prime example of that. So let's jump back in here and get to the part where this guy is talking about the FBI informants allegedly being at the Capitol that day.
We're the ones, not Fox, not Breitbart, who actually went and uncovered the fact that, like, there were a ton of FBI informants on the people who attacked the Capitol. That was us, not the right with us. You need the sources from within to dig into those places.
Right.
You need the sources from within to dig into those places. But it's especially over the CIA, NSA, because like if you work there, you get polygraphed every year, and you're asked if you spoke to a reporter. If your answer is anything but no, you're in deep trouble. You're often talking to former people who are talking to people who are still there.
Got it. Okay, say that again.
You're also talking to people who are recently left, who are still talking to people on the inside. So people on the inside cannot talk.
Well, so you talk to people who got arrested and their families? Or their neighbors?
There's just neighbors and stuff. Families usually don't want to talk for good reason.
Have you guys talked to anybody who's actually been arrested?
Yeah, although most of them, the lawyers have told them not talk to us. Like
Why?
if you're facing serious criminal charges, you probably laughing. You should just talk to a journalist.
True.
Unless you're,
That is very true. If you facing serious criminal charges, don't talk to a journalist. Okay, don't.
There's like a very specific reason that you need, like, that some good can come of it. Like, there's no way you should talk to me. No good's gonna come of it.
Why not?
Because you are a propaganda artist. You a spin artist, right? That's why you shouldn't talk to journalists like this guy. This guy's keeping it 100, okay?
Because anything you say can end up in court. And you just don't want to be interested. I wouldn't.
Yeah, so... You know, it's funny when these Project Veritas videos, because I'm like, are these dudes like aware like of what's going on? Like, you know, do they get girls to go on Tinder, right? Are these girls hot? These Project Veritas journalists that be getting these guys, are they hot? Okay, do they match with these guys on Tinder or something like that, and then they go out on a date? See, this is the dangers of simping, right? When you simp too much, you get a little alcohol in your system, you end up like this guy and just telling everything to some woman that you think is interested in you, but really is actually an undercover agent that is putting you on the spotlight, okay? Again, you got to be careful, man, when you out here going on dates with these women, because, you know, hey, if she seems a little bit out of your league, if things seem to be too good to be true, then it seems like it probably is too good to be true. That definitely seems to be the case for this guy right here, okay? But, yeah, some of the things he's saying, again, it goes against the mainstream liberal narrative and the Democrat party narrative, right? It is clear that, you know, they spin things in a way to make people believe what they want you to believe, not necessarily what they actually believe themselves. This guy will gladly write an article over-exaggerating and overreacting to something that he knows is an exaggeration and an overreaction, right? But he doesn't care, because at the end of the day, that's his job, right? His job is to push propaganda and outrage, okay? And he's literally telling you that on camera. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.